Welcome to the Complete Aviation Solutions Deep Dive number 112. Today, we're plunging into a really compelling stack of information you've shared with us. It all points to some truly significant shifts happening across the airline industry. We're going to unpack major aircraft orders, ambitious expansion strategies, and even some, well, nuanced geopolitical developments that are quietly reshaping how planes get built and how we fly.
That's right. And what really stands out for these sources, I think, is how they perfectly illustrate this dual focus in modern aviation. You've got the intricate, sort of granular details of fleet planning on one hand, and then these sweeping, audacious strategic visions driving growth and global connectivity on the other. It's a fantastic window into just how far-reaching business decisions are in this sector, much more than just buying a new plane.
Absolutely. So let's unpack all this, dive into the specific data, and see what fascinating insights emerge. Okay, first up, our first big revelation comes from looking at a major airline based in Algiers. Sources show they've placed a firm order for 16 new 72-passenger aircraft, specifically ATR 72-600s.
Right.
And this isn't just adding capacity, is it? It's the foundation for launching an entirely new regional subsidiary, tentatively called Domestic Airlines. That's a pretty bold move right out of gate.
It absolutely is. And what's truly compelling here, I think, is the clear strategic intent behind this order. The CEO of the parent company was explicit, saying these ATRs are, and I'm quoting loosely here, the right aircraft to help connect all regions of our country and support national development.
Yeah, so it's broader than just the airline itself.
Exactly. It's not just about selling tickets. It's a direct play at using aviation as a tool for national infrastructure, economic development. Think about it improving internal connectivity, especially to southern regions that maybe haven't had great air links that can unlock huge potential. Trade, tourism, access to services.
That puts a different spin on it, definitely. So beyond the big vision, what does this mean, operationally, day to day? We understand these new planes will have Pratt & Whitney Canada PW127XT engines. Deliveries starting 2026, wrapping up 2028.
That's the plan. And the engine choice, the PW127XT, that's quite telling. They're known for really good fuel efficiency, lower maintenance costs, critical for the kind of high-frequency regional flying this new subsidiary will do.
Right, reliability and cost.
Exactly. It speaks to a focus on long-term profitability. And you mentioned the subsidiary. Well, this move involves more than just launching something new. The courses reveal it's actually based on an existing carrier the parent company recently acquired.
Oh, interesting. So they bought someone.
Yes. And while the plan is to eventually integrate that acquired fleet, there's still a bit of ambiguity. It's not clear if the new subsidiary will use the existing carrier's operating certificate, their license to fly, essentially, or if it'll be a totally new unit needing fresh certification.
Okay, so some operational hurdles potentially there.
Could be. That legal and operational integration, that'll be complex but vital to watch as they ramp up.
And looking at their current fleet, the sources really paint a picture of why this modernization is so key. The parent company has 12 older ATR 72-500s, average age over 21 years, plus 3 newer Nective 600s, about 10 years old.
Right, quite a mix.
And the acquired carrier, it flies a real mixed bag of turboprops, Beech 1900Ds, some DHC-8s. This new order, it feels like a monumental push to upgrade and expand domestic travel, really modernize it.
Oh, the complete overhaul for their domestic services. And arguably long overdue, given the age of those current turboprops.
Yeah.
Think of it like swapping out a fleet of older cars for brand new purpose-built models.
Yeah.
These new ATR 72-600s are perfect for those short to medium regional routes. Better comfort, better fuel burn, fewer emissions compared to the old stuff. It's not just adding seats, it's making flying within Algeria more accessible, more reliable, and frankly, a better experience for you, the traveler. It could really transform domestic air transport there.
Okay, so from connecting communities within one country, let's leap to, well, truly global ambitions. This next airline seems to be rewriting the rule book for long-haul travel.
This one is fascinating.
Yeah, the sources lay out an incredibly audacious strategy from a major Southeast Asian carrier. They're ordering 50 new A321-200NY XLRs. That's the extra long-range version, with options for 20 more.
50 firm, 20 options.
Yeah, and they're presenting this not just as an order, but as a transformative step, developing a global network using narrow-body planes.
And that immediately begs the question, right? Why narrow bodies for long haul? For decades, the wisdom was, you need wide-body jets for that.
Exactly.
But the CEO of the parent holding company gave a clear rationale. A narrow body means, quote, a lot less risk in terms of certain routes. And crucially, it opens up many more destinations that we couldn't have gone to before. They genuinely believe they can build the first low-cost, narrow-body network carrier.
Wow, that really challenges the old model.
It's a calculated gamble, really.
Yeah.
Smaller, more flexible planes, potentially unlocking new markets, reducing the financial hit if a route isn't super dense.
All right, and here's where it gets really interesting for me. Their plan to build virtual hubs across the Middle East, Europe, East Asia, offering one-stop global service. Picture it. One stop, say, in the Middle East gets you to most of Europe, all of Africa. A European stop gets you the U.S. East Coast.
And maybe Japan or Honolulu for the U.S. West Coast.
It's like a global logistics chess game. And deliveries, currently 2028 to 2032, but they're pushing hard to get them starting in 2027.
It's a truly innovative concept, this virtual hub. Though, the complexities are there. Usually a hub means one big airport where everyone changes planes.
Right.
A virtual hub suggests something more distributed, maybe timed connections across different airports, not one central point.
Yeah.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, it's not just about linking the huge global cities, it's more nuanced.
How so?
Well, they want to boost connecting traffic through existing hubs like Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok,
Sure.
but also develop more direct point-to-point routes from secondary airports. Think Denpasar, Penang, Johor Bahru.
Yeah.
They specifically mention destinations like Busan in South Korea, or maybe Nagoya, Hiroshima in Japan. Places that couldn't really sustain a big A330 service, but might be perfect for these new versatile narrowbodies.
So it's a dual approach. Leverage the hubs, but also unlock thinner routes directly.
Precisely. That's a key takeaway. Balancing connections, which are currently only about 7% of their passengers, remember, with that core point-to-point focus.
It's a dynamic balancing act. And what's also fascinating, they haven't decided yet how these new planes get split across the different airlines. Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Cambodia.
Right, they have multiple operating certificates across the region.
And we also learned they have firm orders for hundreds of other A321 variants already. It just shows this comprehensive, multi-layered fleet strategy unfolding, adapting to different markets across a huge area.
It really is remarkable, the scale and flexibility.
Yeah.
And they're not waiting for the XLRs to start expanding long haul either. They plan to kick that off this year using their existing A330-300 wide bodies.
Oh, already.
Yeah. First European destination expected by end of 2025. Istanbul is apparently around the corner. Other European cities too. A return to Africa planned for next year.
So the A330s are still part of the plan then?
Well, yes and no. They still have outstanding orders for more A330s, but the sources say they're actively discussing whether to keep them all. Especially for routes, say, from the Philippines, or maybe the new narrow-body just doesn't quite have the legs to reach mainland America easily.
Right, range limitations still matter.
Exactly. So it's this constant evaluation, adjusting even massive orders based on efficiency, range, market demand. It's incredibly fluid.
And as if all that wasn't enough, they're apparently close to another major order, up to 150 jets.
Expected to be regional jets, yeah. An announcement likely within a month, the sources suggest.
Wow, so that really seems like the final piece, doesn't it? Completing the whole network strategy. Ultra-long-haul narrow bodies, efficient wide bodies for dense routes, and now regional jets for feeder services. They're building a whole ecosystem.
It absolutely paints a picture of incredibly aggressive growth, yes.
Yeah.
And a meticulously planned global footprint. The layered approach A321 XLRs for that point-to-point long-haul, low-cost model, A330s for the very longest or highest demand routes, regional jets feeding the hubs. It creates this highly flexible network.
Makes sense.
Designed to maximize reach and efficiency across all sorts of markets. Crucial for a low-cost carrier trying to go global. The operational challenges will be immense, no doubt. But the strategic logic, in terms of market potential, it's compelling.
Okay, finally, let's pivot. Let's shift gears to something crucial that reverberates across global aerospace manufacturing. Our sources indicate a significant policy shift. The U.S. government has lifted restrictions on exporting certain engines to a major Chinese aircraft manufacturer.
This is highly significant.
Yeah.
Its implications go beyond just this one deal.
What specific engines are we talking about?
The CF-34 for one aircraft model and the LEP-1Cs for another, both absolutely critical components. Now, previously, these restrictions were put in place as a kind of retaliation, a response to China's own export controls on rare earth materials.
Ah, those vital minerals for tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So lifting these restrictions now, it signals a potential easing of trade tensions, maybe, but it also really highlights how deeply intertwined global supply chains are, especially in high-tech like aerospace. It's a reminder that even when governments clash, Manufacturing often relies on these deep cross-border partnerships.
And it really underscores that interdependence, doesn't it? We also learned the company making these engines, it's a 50-50 consortium, a U.S. firm and a French firm.
Right, CFM International.
Production happens in both the U.S. and France. So even a Chinese aircraft is often a truly global product, assembled from parts sourced internationally.
Precisely. Assembly might be in China, but the crucial high-value stuff engines, avionics, often comes from U.S. and European suppliers. Which brings us to a really important point about self-reliance. Our sources mentioned that a state-owned Chinese company is developing its own domestic engine option. It's expected to become a second choice for one of these aircraft models.
So competition from within China.
Potentially. It highlights this ongoing push for greater domestic capability, running in parallel with continued reliance on international suppliers. It's a dual strategy. Build your own capabilities long-term, but use established global expertise now. And developing a reliable jet engine from scratch. That's incredibly hard, expensive, takes decades. So the fact they're pursuing this domestic option seriously, it speaks volumes about national strategic priorities.
So quite a journey today. We've covered immense ground. From an airline strategic investment in a new regional subsidiary in Algeria aimed at national development,
Right.
to an incredibly ambitious Southeast Asian low-cost carrier, basically trying to redefine global travel with narrow-body
The
planes.
virtual hub concept, yeah.
And finally, these subtle but powerful shifts in geopolitical trade that directly impact how commercial planes are actually built around the world.
Yeah, it's clear from these deep dives, isn't it? Airlines are constantly dynamically adapting, changing strategies, changing fleets. They have to respond to new market demands, leverage new technology in aircraft, and navigate these incredibly complex international relations and supply chains. It really is one of the most dynamic industries out there.
Absolutely. And these aren't just abstract corporate deals or, dry trade policies. They directly shape the future of travel for you, the passenger, whether it's making domestic flights easier to get within a country or opening up entirely new, maybe more affordable international destinations. So as you reflect on everything we've discussed today, here's something to chew on, a provocative thought perhaps. In an era where global demand for air travel just keeps rising and geopolitical shifts are constantly happening, how will that delicate balance play out? The balance between deep global manufacturing interdependence needing parts from everywhere and that powerful, persistent push for national self-sufficiency in aerospace. How will that continue to evolve? And maybe more importantly, what does that mean for the next generation of aircraft that you and I will be flying on?